The National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa say they will be meeting with management of SAA in about half an hour's time to discuss issues related to retrenchments at the airline and wages. The union says SAA management agreed to a new wage offer, which unions are currently discussing with their members. South African Airways has warned of the possibility of the closure of the national carrier should unions go on strike. The South African Cabin Crew Association and NUMSA announced their members will down tools from tomorrow morning. SAA has cancelled its domestic, regional and international flights scheduled for tomorrow and Saturday. All flights operated on SA Express, Mango, SA Airlink and other partners will not be affected. Let's get more on the story now. We crossed our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who is at OR Tambo International Airport. A very good afternoon to Mbalenhle. Describe what's happening to us, especially at the SAA desk there.
Good afternoon, Nzinga. If you look behind me, you'll see SAA staff members working hard and checking in passengers who are on their way to their various destinations. But this might not be the case tomorrow if the outcome from the meeting that we expect to happen between SAA and unions at around 2:30 does not yield the kind of results that unions want to hear. We know that earlier this week SAA announced plans to retrench around 900 of its workforce, and basically they were saying that this is in an effort to save the ailing airline 700 million rand. We understand that the airline has been struggling over the years and it is actually buckling under a debt book of nearly 50 billion rand. Now they're saying that they're trying to secure the airline's future by cutting all of these jobs. However, the unions have come out strongly against this move, saying that they were not consulted about this and they only heard about the news in the media, and they were basically saying that they don't want workers to suffer the consequences of decisions, impractical decisions, as well as uncommercial decisions that were made by certain executives at SAA. We are expecting the strike to continue to start tomorrow as early as 4 a.m. Some of the things that came out of the press briefing that happened earlier this week, and this is basically for the, we had SAA executives basically explaining to us why they were embarking on this restructuring process, saying that at present they are actually spending 22% of their total revenue, the total turnover rather, on paying wages, as well as 27% on paying fuel prices. While they can't do anything about the fuel price, they can definitely do something with regards to restructuring in order to secure SAA's future and to return the airline to profitability. And they've basically said that this will also help with regards to bringing down ticket fares. And they said at this stage they cannot charge competitive prices because the input costs are very high. Now, at the center of this is the tourism sector. We understand that if SAA does go ahead and cancel all of its flights, as it's announced to cancel flights both tomorrow and on Saturday, they stand to lose around 50 million rand per day. And this is obviously they've elected to do this because they don't want to cause any more disruptions, and they just want to give passengers an opportunity to make alternative arrangements. However, this is not good for the airline given its financial status at the moment, and the fact that it serves a very crucial position in society as well as in the economy. SAA has generally opted to take non-profitable routes. This is in an effort to boost the local tourism sector, bringing in tourists from various destinations in the world to bring them here. And this obviously means that if they are doing that, they're going to suffer massive losses, and the tourism sector also suffers massive losses, which obviously has tax implications, because if businesses in the tourism sector are not really profitable and they have to close down, it obviously means that certain individuals are going to have to lose jobs in those sectors, and it also means that SARS will not be able to collect the desired tax revenue collections, and obviously this doesn't do anything with regards to improving South Africa's economic growth problems.
Balenhle Mthethwa giving us a comprehensive wrap there from OR Tambo International Airport on that looming NUMSA strike at SAA as well as other unions. Of course, we know in about half an hour we'll find out whether the unions will actually go and strike. Let's stay on the story. I'm now joined in studio by Kim Taylor from Flight Centre Travel Group of South Africa. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. Talk to us about what effect this strike has on, in particular, travel agents.
So it's been quite a busy morning, as you can imagine. Priority this morning was to establish how many bookings we would have affected for Friday and Saturday, and to contact those customers to ensure that, number one, they know what's happening and to reaccommodate them as per what SAA has communicated. So obviously a massive impact. 540 bookings we've established departing on Friday and Saturday. So quite a number of passengers that would have been travelling that now have to be reaccommodated.
Are you able to quantify in monetary terms what that loss or how much that is?
Not as yet. We're still working through the bookings, so we wouldn't have figures right now, but it would be a substantial amount of money.
Okay, you've said you've been communicating with South African Airways. Talk us through what kind of communication that is and if they've been quite open and upfront with you.
Absolutely. I think they've, as early as this morning, they came through to us with the rebooking procedures, so we knew exactly what we needed to convey to our customers. They've been available by phone. Their trade support has been really great in terms of, we've heard on the ground customers contacting them directly, so we haven't had any issues in terms of contact with them.
Mm-hmm. What's the possible worst case scenario for your customers if the strike goes ahead?
That they wouldn't be able to travel as expected. So we've had a few customers who have opted to cancel just because alternative arrangements don't suit them, and that's obviously never a great thing if they were planning on traveling for their holidays or for business. So that would be the worst case scenario, is our customers not being able to travel and having to cancel their travel.
Mm-hmm. This might be slightly off topic, but
Sure.
I was quite surprised that there is still a large role played by travel agents, because one would think that because of online bookings, because of how simple it is to now book a flight, most people would opt out of dealing with a person.
Absolutely. I think it's a question we asked quite a bit, and the consumer, I think, is a lot more tech savvy and very comfortable, especially for domestic travel booking online. We've got our great online booking tool for Flight Centre, but I think a consumer still wants that human touch and that human element, and I think now more than ever, today is a perfect example. Instead of having to sort out your booking online or go through to a call centre, you have a travel agent who's guiding you through this entire process. Mm-hmm. So a bricks and mortar model is still very, very relevant. And I know a lot of people kind of say, really? It absolutely is.
Okay. We heard the worst case scenario from Balenhle now, speaking about what possible ramifications there could be if a strike went ahead or if something happened to SAA. What's your view on that?
I think at the moment we are obviously waiting with bated breath to see the outcome of the discussions this afternoon. I think for now priority is just looking at tomorrow and Saturday. I think we are putting our contingency plans in place should the strike obviously evolve from there and carry on through to next week. I wouldn't be able to comment on what the outcome would be right now, but I think our priority as a company right now is looking after our customers, especially over the next 2 days, and having those contingency plans in place for the coming week if we should need them.
And what kind of feedback are you getting from customers as you interact with them with those over 500 bookings about the situation that's taking place?
They've been quite great in terms of understanding what's happening. It is out of everyone's control. I think what they want is solutions, and I think that's where we really have to show our value, and that's coming to the party, phoning them and having those solutions ready. We haven't had any major concerns. I think it is a disruption to travel, so obviously customers are a little bit upset that their travel plans may need to change, but very open to the solutions that we are affording them.
Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. Kim Taylor, the Customer Experience Director at Flight Centre, joining us in studio there to speak about that looming possible SAA strike. It's time for a short break. When we come back, I'll have more business news for you. Do stay with us on Point.